I will now turn over the podium to two highly distinguished individuals whose work is helping to shorten the marathon for all of our cancer patients. Professor Phillip Sharp is an institute professor at MIT. Among his numerous contributions to the fields of biochemistry and molecular biology, his landmark achievement was the discovery of RNA splicing, for which he received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1993. Professor Robert Langer is the David H. Koch Institute Professor at MIT. He is a world-renowned leader in biotechnology and material science and has received over 180 major awards, including the National Medal of Science, the Charles Stark Draper Prize, considered the equivalent of the Nobel Prize for Engineers, and the 2008 Millennium Prize, the world's largest technology prize. Please welcome Professors Phillip Sharp and Robert Langer. Thank you.
Come on up here.
All right.
Thank you, Alice. It's a wonderful, generous introduction. I can remember Dr. Shaw when she was a postdoctoral fellow with Tyler Jacks running around the Cancer Center over here at MIT, and to have her back as a colleague who's treating patients, and I think she's treating a friend of mine in terms of lung cancer, is just wonderful. She brings the patient to us in the Koch Institute and makes our effort much more real. And that's one of the great advantages of having this great new institute. It is a dream come true to be here today to celebrate the dedication of the Koch Institute. The convergence of science, engineering in the Koch Institute will be the future of cancer treatment and science. Convergence of life science with physical science, computational engineering, is a movement across all of MIT's campus. This development will not only advance science, but will also advance the economy of New England and the health care of its citizens and that of the world. This convergence is represented here today by the joint presence of my colleague Bob Langer and myself on this stage. I have been a cancer biologist at MIT as a member of the Cancer Center and as a director of the Cancer Center for over 30 years. Over this period, as you have heard, we and others have fundamentally changed the face of this disease by discovering oncogenes that drive it, targets for drugs that treat it, and the fundamental cellular processes that make the difference between a normal and a cancer cell. This includes understanding how the immune system interacts with cancer and other foreign objects. Now is the correct time, and the Koch Institute is the right place for the science of cancer to join the engineering of nanoparticles and new materials, the engineering of the immune system, the engineering of cellular pathways to create new knowledge about cancer and new treatments. I am thrilled to join my tremendous colleagues in engineering here at MIT in this great adventure. Working in collaborations with colleagues such as Robert Langer make me wish I was 30 again and had another 3 decades to create the future of cancer research here at MIT. David, you have made all this possible by your generosity and commitment to cancer. We are excited about this new building and your continued leadership here at MIT in cancer research. Thank you.
Phil, that was beautifully said, and it's my pleasure also to be with you today in what I think is a really important chapter in the history of cancer research. Like Phil, I want to give my voice of deep gratitude to David Koch for not only providing the resources to allow us to be here today, but also for his tremendous vision, guidance, and counsel, which he continues very actively. It's very gratifying for me personally to be part of today's dedication based on what the Koch Institute represents, and as Phil mentioned, and what the true convergence of life sciences and engineering can mean for the future of cancer research. from my standpoint, I've had the good fortune of spending most of my career at the intersection of these disciplines, and I've seen firsthand the power that can come from looking at age-old problems through a different lens. As some of you who know me are aware, I came to the cancer and biomedical field not through a background in biology or medicine, but with a background in chemical engineering. While almost all of my colleagues in the 1970s, that's when I graduated, went on to engineering companies, I decided I wanted to use my background in engineering to help people in health-related research. And so after I graduated from MIT in 1974, I was fortunate to get a job in the lab of surgeon and cancer researcher Dr. Judah Folkman. And it became clear to us, but perhaps to few other engineers at that time, that we were on the cusp of a revolution in biomedical research, one that might have a profound impact on the way cancer research is done. Now, more than 3 decades after I started doing that research, it's still not the norm for young engineers to be in a field like cancer research. There is no roadmap. But thanks to David's vision, we're beginning to change that. The great beauty of the Koch Institute is we're bringing scientists and engineers and clinicians together, as you've just heard from Phil and Alice. And we hope that that will give us a new way of thinking about developing the profound challenges that vex the field of cancer. Especially now when the needs are so great and the means for supporting truly innovative research are becoming more and more scarce, having something like the Koch Institute and all that comes with it has never been more important. I should add that for me personally, being in this new building has been really remarkable. As Tyler mentioned, we've only been here just a couple months, but every day I go up the elevator, we're on the 6th floor, and I get off the elevator and I see so many happy faces. It's just been all the graduate students and postdocs. When we were in our old building, I didn't seem to see that so much. And I have to feel very grateful that David not only supported this great new building, but also he's been very generous to us personally. He's helped support our own laboratory's research on nanotechnology, which has led to this little vial, which is actually little nanoparticles that are now treating cancer patients. Also, one of the other things about David is he really pays attention to detail, for those of you that know him. Last evening we had this dinner and a number of people spoke, and it was stated, if you paid attention carefully, which David did, that the Koch Institute was built to house 550 scientists. But also later in the evening, someone mentioned there were already 650 scientists and engineers working there. So as I was leaving with my wife Laura last night at the dinner, David walked up to me and my wife and he said, "Bob," he said, "how could there be so many people in the building already?" I said, "Well, it's just a very popular place to be." Now, I don't want to give you the idea that my wife Laura tells me what to do. But later on, after that, she said, "Bob, you could have given David a much better answer." She said, "Every time you come home from talking with David, usually you talk about one of two things, science or sports." And she said, what you should have said is it's like that baseball movie, Field of Dreams, where they said, if you build it, they will come. And all of us have come to this great new building that David built, which we hope will change cancer research, not only here, but through the whole world and in the future. And on behalf of Phil and Tyler and all of us in the Koch Cancer Center, it's my great, great honor to introduce David Koch, who's built our field, our building of dreams. David?